Alright, you guys asked for a video on controls. So, this area here is the boiler management system. And you've got your burners up here. Ours are all automated. A lot of times you've got to cut them in and out manually. Probably everybody's in push buttons now. My first shift, you had to actually have a fireman down there, and the fireman got replaced with these buttons. God, 40 years ago probably. And then you come down to the combustion controls, and when you're running plants in parallel, I've always seen these. You'll always have one as the master. We're running the port right now, and we have it biased over. And usually have some kind of adjustment there, and that's because the economizer is bypassed on the starboard boiler. We got a leak over there. So the way that works is you come down to, this says master, but this is your superheater outlet pressure. And you use the superheater, not the drum, because this is what's going out to the system. So then, don't worry about O2 trim when we get back to that. Your air and your fuel are driven off the master. And there's a ratio programmed in the controller on, these are all Yokogawas, that sets that fuel air ratio up for what it needs. Now, the O2 trim is kind of like a fine tuning in there, and they generally don't really work that well. So as the pressure would drop, the air and the fuel come up to compensate and bring the pressure back, and that's a very complicated formula, and it's all programmed in there. Then you have drum level control. This is a 3-part drum level control. We have level, steam flow, and feed water flow. So those 3 components go in there to open and close that valve. That's your, on these Yokogawas, that's how much the valve is actually open. Because everything's driven off this port master, so the fuel for the whole system is driven off the port. So the fuel is going to be relatively matched over here, and it's just the mirror image. Now when you get up into the other controls, we've got our feed pump controls. This is the one that's online. This is the backup. And this little C here means cascade. And you have auto. A is for auto, C is for cascade. Cascade means it's receiving a signal from something else to help drive it. So this is going to be based on the superheater outlet pressure and the drum level demand. The feed pump, that's off. This is steam temperature for the boiler. That's going to go to your control D superheater. Same thing here. Then you have fuel oil header and fuel oil temperature. Again, cascade. So the header actually increases pressure with the demand from the boiler controls. So you can see here we had a little more fuel demand, so the header actually came up with more pressure. And then just the temperature control is pretty basic. DC heater level control, that's automatic. Hot well level control, lube oil temperature. This is your 33-pound makeup and your bleed steam, and then you can cycle through these. There's other components. That's your 33-pound dump and your live steam makeup. Anyway, that's the boiler controls there. I'll make this a video, and I'll give you another video in a minute.